Welcome to the Green Print, where we talk taxes, business, lifestyle, and I sprinkle a little bit of inspiration. So today's topic is about how much do you actually get for your dependents when filing taxes. Now, why is this a good topic? Because y'all see them, y'all be seeing people when they are marketing, oh, you for one child, you get $8,000. For two kids, you get $12,000. For three kids, you get $20,000. Those are some unrealistic numbers, okay? And everybody should know those are marketing tactics. Can people get that dollar amount for their dependents? Yes. How likely is the majority of people to get it? Very slim. So today I want to break down to you how refunds are determined, or basically how much you get for your dependents, so that you can see, like, most of the time when they're saying those things, it is not true. Now, what you do need to know is that refunds, the amount you get for your dependents, are based off several factors. One, it always depends on how much income you make, because with the tax credits, all the tax credits go around how much income you make and the age of your dependent. The second thing is, when we talk about how much you're going to get in a refund, it also is determined by how much taxes that you actually had withheld during the year. And it can also mean, um how is your income? How was your earned income? Meaning, did you get a W-2, or are you self-employed? So it's a lot of factors that come into how much you're gonna actually get in a refund. But let me talk about how much you get for these dependents. So we're gonna keep talking about the credits that you get for your dependents. Again, I think I told y'all in my last video when I was talking about the age of your dependents, like when you should stop claiming your dependents. We talked about the earned income tax credit. Why do we always talk about the earned income tax credit first? And that is because that is the big credit when you talk about what you can get for your dependents. Now, the only problem with that is everybody don't qualify for the earned income tax credit. It is different income limits that you have to be in order to qualify for the earned income tax credit. I don't know those numbers right off bat, but I can tell you this. The lower you make in income, the less amount of the earned income tax credit you're going to get. The higher you make in income, the less of the earned income tax credit you're going to get. The earned income tax credit, to get the maximum amount that you can get for your dependents, it has a sweet spot. And the sweet spot is usually somewhere between 12,000 to, I say, about 19,000. You are getting pretty much the max. You're not getting the same dollar amount, depends on what your income is in those levels, but that's the sweet spot of earned income tax credit that you're getting. Anything over that, the income tax credit, earned income tax credit starts to go down. Anything under that, the earned income tax credit starts to go down. That's why we don't have a one size fit all tax refund. Everybody's tax refund is going to look different, because everybody's tax refund, everybody's tax situation is different. So the maximum amounts that you can qualify when it comes to earn income tax credit, and remember, you got to be in the sweet spot. So for one child, it's $4,213. For two kids, it's $6,960. For three dependent, it's $7,830. Now, for the earned income tax credit, you will not get any money for more than three dependents. Three dependents is all you can claim. That's all they're gonna give you money for. And the maximum amount that you can get of earned income tax credit for three dependents, or for however many dependents you have, is $7,830. Now, does that mean everybody's going to get that dollar amount? No. Again, people who get that dollar amount is in the sweet spot. So You might get a portion of that, depends on what your income levels are. But if you're not in the sweet spot, you're not going to get the maximum amount. That's why when people be saying you can get these outrageous amounts for your dependents, you should know that they're telling you a lie. Why? Because the earned income tax credit is the biggest credit that you can get for your dependents. And I just told you the maximum amounts that you can get for them. Now, it's other variables that take place in reference to if you have one child, how you might can get more money. But or you have 2 kids, 3 kids, how you can get more money and a refund. But for this particular credit, that is the maximum amount. It's not no more. It ain't no more magical money coming from from this particular credit. So that's the maximum amount. Then you have the child tax credit, which is the next credit that you get the most money for your dependents for. So with the child tax credit, I talked about it in the last video, but just in case you didn't watch the video, I'll tell you again. So for the child tax credit, your dependent has to be under the age of 17. That means they have to be 16 and under for you to qualify for that credit. Now, mind you, it don't mean that you don't claim them. It just means that you don't qualify for that credit when they turn the age of 17. Now, the child tax credit is up to $2,000. A lot of people think that you automatically get $2,000 for the child tax credit, and that's not true either. It's up to $2,000. And to know how much you're going to get for the child tax credit is a calculation to determine how much you're going to get back, and it has to do with income as well. So you get up to $2,000 per dependent. Now, another thing you need to know about a child tax credit is that it is a non-refundable credit. Now, because it's non-refundable, that means you do not get none of that money in your pocket for the child tax credit. But if you meet your tax liability, you possibly can qualify for the additional child tax credit, which is the refundable portion of the child tax credit. And the maximum amount that you can get for that is up to $1,700. Now, there's not really a amount of dependents you can claim in reference to getting that credit, but you just need to know, because it's a non-refundable credit, you might not get $2,000 for every child you put on your taxes. The child tax credit revolves around ultimately how much you paid in taxes. And then if you met your tax liability, meaning you paid or you had enough deductions to reduce your tax liability to zero, then you possibly will start qualifying for some of the additional child tax credit, but that's up to $1,700. Now, if you put that together, even for the people in the sweet spot, 1,700 plus 4,200 is what? 7, 9, what is that? 5,800. So for one dependent, even in the sweet spot for EITC and for child tax credit, the maximum amount of that dollar amount you would get back is 5,800. The only how you can get higher than that is if you had taxes withheld from your check. And what you need to know about that is, even if you met the sweet spot for the earned income tax credit, because you're in the sweet spot for the earned income tax credit, you're not going to qualify for the full $2,000 of a child tax credit / additional child tax credit. So all the stories that everybody keeps talking about as far as like all this money you're going to get for your dependents, it is not true. It's just not true. I think what has happened is, because it's been so much fraud going on, it's been fraud since the beginning of time when it comes to taxes. But because there's been so much fraud going on, people assume that they are supposed to get these big, huge refunds because you have dependents. And a lot of times, sometimes people with 3 dependents don't even qualify for earned income tax credit. And if they didn't have any taxes withheld, sometimes they still end up owing, because everything is based on how much you made and what you paid in. And as far as like getting money for your dependent, The child tax credit and the earned income tax credit are the two most popular credits that ultimately give you the largest amount of money for your dependents. Now, the next thing is you have two more credits for a dependent, for dependents, but they work a little different. So one is the child care credit. For the child care credit, meaning that you have a dependent who goes to a daycare or somebody is watching them, then you can get that credit. Now, the amount that you can write off in reference to, you paying daycare expenses is $3,000 for one child, $6,000 for two or more, which is usually two. But the maximum amount of that credit that you actually can get, you don't get the 3,000, you don't get the 6,000. It is $1,050 and $2,100. Now, the child and dependent care credit is a non-refundable credit. So it doesn't even calculate if you did not pay any taxes. Okay. It only helps you and benefits you if you had some taxes withheld and you still have a tax liability after all your other tax deductions and credits. Then the last credit that you can benefit from for your dependents is the educational credits. Now, in other videos, I break down each one of these credits one by one. But again, I want to talk about in this video, I wanted to talk more so like what do you get for your dependents? So the last credit is the education credit. Now, it's two different education credits. It's American Opportunity Credit, and then it's a Lifetime Learning Credit. The American Opportunity Credit is the bigger benefit, but in order to get that credit, you have to be in the first 4 years of your education, college education. Now, with that credit, it's a credit up to $2,500. A portion of that is non-refundable, and a portion of that is refundable. So $1,500 of it you cannot get back dollar for dollar. You can only get that back if you had taxes withheld. It'll help you get some of that money back. 1,000 of it, up to 1,000, because you don't get the whole 1,000. A lot of people think you get the whole 1,000. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But up to 1,000 is refundable. So you could possibly get more money for your dependents, that age group 19 to 23, if they're in college. If they qualify, you qualify for the maximum amount of the education credit. With the lifetime learning credit, it's non-refundable. You don't get none of that money back dollar for dollar. You only get money that you pay in taxes back. That's what it does. That's what it helps you get back. Now, if you did not, if you're going to end up owing in taxes, what it will do is it will reduce the amount that you owe. Now, even with the education credits, it's income limits. Like if you make over 80, 90,000, that credit starts to phase out. So everybody don't qualify for that credit as well. Then there's qualifications for those credits also. But if you meet those qualifications, that means that you can get those credits and additional money in your refund for your dependent as well. So as you can see, like it's not a one size fit all type of thing. It depends on what your situation is. It depends on how old your dependence is. It depends on how much income you have in order for you to know how much you'll get back for your dependents. So if you're out there and you going to different tax pros or you meet different tax pros that are trying to tell you automatically what your refund is going to be or automatically what you can get for your dependents, so beware, because they are trying to scam you, right? They're trying to scam you. And I don't even want to just say scam because, of course, that's a marketing tactic to get you in the door. But a lot of times, if they're willing to go that far to try to get you in the door, what is they really willing to do on your taxes? Like, is they really gonna do your taxes properly, accurately? Are they not gonna get you out of it? You have to think about those different things. But I just think it's very important because a lot of people, especially people that do their taxes on their own, do not know how all of these things work. A lot of times you go file your taxes and your refund is not what you expected. and you don't understand why. And for some reason, it's this thing, if I have kids, if I have dependents, then I'm supposed to get this enormous amount of money back. And that's just not how taxes work. Do people get large refunds back? Absolutely. A lot of people that get large refunds back, they pay their taxes like they supposed to. Their income is in probably the right spot. They got the right amount of dependents, and their dependents are the right age for them to qualify for the credits. So that's possibly the reason why they're getting decent refunds back. So I hope this video helped you. Make sure if you enjoyed the video or you thought this video was helpful to you, make sure you drop me a comment. Drop me something in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I need some subscribers, y'all. Subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share my video out with other people, because what we want to do is we want to make sure people start to really truly understand how taxes work, so that we're not setting ourselves up for failure but when we go to try to get our taxes done and we're not getting the money that we want. So I'm Dr. Gwinnetta Wright. I am a business and tax strategist. I'm also the owner of Expert Tax Services LLC. If you're looking to get your taxes done, I do taxes nationwide through my website at www.experttaxservices.com. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.